Hey everyone, Garrett here from Naked and Famous Denim with another fade review. Today we're going to be looking at the brown fox selvage, a very special pair. But before we get into those details, do me a big favor, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get started here. This is the brown fox selvage, and very special because it's using Foxfibre at 10.5 ounces per square yard. You can see here that it actually uses indigo warp on the outside. So it's a Supima cotton with indigo rope dye on the outside, and then on the weft, on the inside, it's actually kind of harder to see, but we do have Foxfibre on the weft, which we'll get into more in a little bit once we see some of the repairs and damages and all that good stuff. Okay, so starting from the top here, we can see that, man, these are thrashed already. They're a newer pair, just released a few years ago. I think, if I remember correctly, this was the first jean that we did that used Sally Fox's Foxfibre cotton. Let's look at the tag here. So this is the Super Guy Fit Brown Fox Selvage 100% cotton unsanforized. That's right, I do remember this pair was unsanforized, but we did give it one rinse wash so that there would be no shrinkage issues, but no sanforization, so you get all that lovely texture. And man, just putting my hands on it, you can right away feel that super soft Supima cotton. So if you don't know what Supima is, it's an American grown cotton, long staple fiber. And because it's long staple, not only is the fiber stronger and makes the jeans stronger, but it becomes extra soft. It has such a luxurious feel, and you can just feel, it's hard to describe. Maybe I can get the close on the microphone here. You can hear that. But these jeans are so nicely broken and so soft. That's something you can tell as soon as you pick them up, as soon as you feel them in your hand. All right, back to the fade review. We have quite a bit of brassing on the top button here. Some people get confused. What does brassing mean? It just means that the finish has worn away and exposed the brass underneath there. We can see here that one of the belt loops has popped off. One of the bar tacks has been completely ripped. So at some point something caught on this, or maybe got pulled on and ripped the bar tack right out. And so there's a little hole on the fabric there. Really nice kind of marbling and creasing along the top of the waistband. If I was to guess, I'd say that a belt was worn with these just because it is a little bit less faded. Coming down, we start to see quite a bit of wear and tear on these the pocket area here. You can see the pocket bags coming through, and the denim has worn away on the top of the pockets, exposing the weft, which is that brown Foxfibre. It's not even dyed. It's a naturally colored brown cotton. On the side here, a lot of brassing as well on the rivets. So you can see that these were worn hard in probably a somewhat abrasive environment, just because all of this metal has been polished, and almost kind of like a golden color coming through, which really nicely complements the brown weft. Quite a bit of wear on the coin pocket here, you can see, or the watch pocket, some people like to say. You can also see that we're broken through, and again, showing some of that Foxfibre, which is really what the whole point of these jeans are, was to have that nice Foxfibre weft that when you break through it, the brown pops very nicely. And I think this is kind of the perfect pair for that. Coming down a little bit further, we can see here nice little holes developing near the pockets, and on the fly there's usually a lot of rubbing and fading on the fly placket here, and you can see that brown coming through again. Beautiful fades in the whiskers area. I would say the whiskers are like well defined, but they're just so faded overall that it kind of has hidden them. You just got a lot of general fading coming down both sides here. Definitely stuff was stored in the pockets, because you can see here at the bottom of the pockets there, this is the bottom of the pocket here. If you put stuff in your pockets, this part will rub on things more, and you get rips and tears. There's a small little repair here. It looks like it was done at home on the sewing machine, but nicely done, adds a lot of little character. And then you can see here, let's see, the repair does go down actually a little bit further, all the way to this bigger rip, which we'll get to in a second. On this side, another big patch sewn in. We got some darning here on the holes, which is nice, and kind of a little zigzaggy pattern where it looks like they worked this way and then they decided to work over and keep going on that side. Let's take a look at the inside here real quick. Hopefully you can see that. So there we can see that repair patch on the inside. Pretty nicely done. Maybe it's professional or maybe it was a home repair, but whoever did it did a nice job. Moving down further, we've got two big holes where we really show off those Foxfibre weft yarns. Just so beautiful, almost like from my perspective, it looks almost like a Christmas tree here. But really nice hole, and then another large hole just above the knee here with those yarns poking out. This is, I almost want to say this is probably one of the best faded Foxfibres I have ever seen, for sure. Coming down to the knees, again, more wear and tear. The left knee has a hole in it, which he has patched again with this nice big square patch here. And then on the right side, no, it looks like there was kind of a little bit of a hole forming, but he went in and repaired that and put in another knee patch on the back there. So amazing knees. Coming down to the bottom of the legs, you can just see a lot of marbling. These were definitely washed quite a few times, and you can just see that texture that has come out in the wash. And you'll also notice here, if you zoom out a little bit there, Vinny, you'll see that there is leg twist. So the outseam here is kind of twisted over here on an angle, and then we have the inseam here kind of twist over, and then the outseam on this side kind of gets folded over and goes to the back of the jean. So a lot of like leg twisting character, which I love to see on these unsanforized jeans. Coming down to the bottom, we have beautiful roping, which is this kind of angular texture. It's very bumpy. The raised ridges caused by the pulling of the chain stitch machine, the Union Special, that is going to cause that. And if we look on the inside here, we can see that beautiful selvage edge, which it looks to be a blue line, and just nice fading. I think these were probably cuffed, yep. So these were definitely cuffed once or twice. You can see a small line there where it was cuffed, but amazing fading on the leg opening here. And again, that Foxfibre beautifully coming through on the inside. All right, let's take a look at the back here. It only gets better. So you can see up here, here's the patch, which is just patinaed really nicely into this dark brown color. And yeah, it looks like he's been wearing a belt, because you can see kind of how the belt has molded that patch. It starts to curve on the outside here and then curve on the edges. And he's washed them a few times, of course, so that definitely has an effect on the patch here. But overall, patch is looking great. Quite a bit of wear on the belt loops as well. This one is kind of just hanging on at the top here, so something was rubbing a lot on that. The yoke here, you can see the Super Guy has a smaller yoke, but nice kind of puckering along the bottom of that yoke there, coming down the center back, nice little fraying on the edges, and just overall a good amount of seat fading here, nothing too extreme. When we get to the pockets, that's where we have the wear and tear. We got a few holes here on these pockets. Remember, this is only 10.5 ounces. Even though it was the long staple cotton, it does eventually wear out, and these have been worn extremely hard for a few years. But nice hole at the bottom of the pocket. And yeah, look at these on the other side. More holes, more small holes starting to develop, but no repairs on here. What stood out to me the most on this pair of jeans when we were looking at them in the store was the crotch. The crotch is in immaculate condition. No blowouts, doesn't seem to have any repairs. No repairs, no blowouts on the crotch, which is very rare for a pair that was worn for this long. So whoever was wearing these, they fit them very well because there's not a lot of extra stress on the crotch, which is really great to see. Coming down to the back here, we have some very faint kind of vintage style honeycombs, which I do love personally. So these have been washed quite a bit, nothing too contrasty, but you can do see kind of those ghost faint marks here on there. Coming down, interesting kind of fading on the side of the calf here. I don't know what caused that. You don't really see that very often. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, pretty cool. And a little brown stain on the back here. So my guess is, maybe they're in some machinery or, something they're coming in contact with often is causing this kind of oil or, dark brown stain on the calf kind of area. Lastly, we have the cuff area where there's some nice rubbing where you can just see that it's starting to fray, almost like pilling. It's not really pilling, it's more the individual yarns are just starting to break all along. So a lot of little friction and rubbing on the back here. Perhaps when these were cuffed, there was some grit in the back there that was rubbing and causing that wear and tear. But you can see it on both sides here, clearly where it was folded twice for that cuff. Let me see if I can replicate that. Yeah, so it looks like they were cuffed something like that while they're being worn. But overall, really nice. Let's take a full look here. So there we have it. The Brown Fox Selvedge, the first edition, 10.5 ounces, Supima warp with Foxfibre weft. These are probably my favorite pair of Foxfibre jeans, or at least faded ones that I've seen so far. Let me know what you think down in the comments, because I think these are pretty special. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, you know what to do. Give us a big like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.